That's how good NaLyssa Smith and Dijonai Carrington go together. It's a match made in heaven. So I'm actually heartbroken when I hear this news today.
NaLyssa Smith and Dijonai Carrington, once the WNBA's double trouble couple, now find themselves on the same team but worlds apart. All signs point to a breakup between the two, right before they even step on the court together for Dallas. The Wings thought they hit the jackpot, but their dream scenario turned into a nightmare overnight.
I'm heartbroken when I see that Dijonai Carrington and NaLyssa Smith are no longer following each other on Instagram. It appears they may have broken up again.
What happens when personal drama meets professional basketball? The Wings are about to find out as they navigate this on-court chemistry experiment gone wrong. Will Smith and Carrington's breakup spell disaster for Dallas? Or can they rise above the drama? And what are the Indiana Fever and Connecticut Sun thinking after avoiding this mess? Let's break it down.
Dijonai Carrington repost, I like when things are just for me. I love that. Actually, wow, could she be insinuating that NaLyssa Smith cheated on her? Now, both of these players are currently down in Miami right now. And yeah, man, it is definitely looking spooky.
Picture this. The Dallas Wings thought they'd struck gold, nabbing both NaLyssa Smith and Dijonai Carrington in one fell swoop. It was like a dream come true, right? Two star players who just happened to be a couple joining forces on the same team, just like how they were during their college days at Baylor. But hold on to your jerseys, folks, because this fairy tale has taken a wild turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. You poked me in the eye. You did.
I did not poke you.
Did you do it on purpose?
I did not poke you in the eye.
Did you do it on purpose?
I got hit in the knee. That was my reflex.
It looked like you were just laughing.
Remember when Smith and Carrington were all over social media, posting cute couple pics and hyping each other up on the court? Well, those days are long gone. Now it's crickets. No likes, no comments, nothing. It's like they've hit the delete button on their entire relationship.
This is so funny to me, man. They did all of that to be on the same team. Now they ain't eating together. Ain't that something? Ain't that crazy how the universe works? Oh, man. Did all that stuff, making skits about Kaylin. Now y'all ain't eating together.
So, what in the world happened? Well, the rumor mill is working overtime, and let me tell you, it's spitting out some juicy gossip. Some say it's the stress of the trade that did them in. Others? They're pointing fingers at something a bit more personal.
About one Dijonai Carrington and NaLyssa Smith being no longer an item. Wow. I swear to God, the WNBA drama literally writes itself. I mean, what's going on with this league?
Here's where things get really interesting. Word on the street is that Carrington's been accused of clout chasing. Now, I don't know about you, but that's gotta sting. Imagine trying to build a career in the spotlight while your relationship is under a microscope. Talk about pressure.
We have warned NaLyssa that Dijonai is a desperate clout chaser. In my opinion, she does not care who she destroys or harms in her quest for relevance.
But wait, there's more. This isn't just about two players calling it quits. The Dallas Wings are now sitting on a ticking time bomb. They wanted a dynamic duo, but instead, they might have just inherited the most awkward locker room in WNBA history.
NaLyssa Smith, Dijonai Carrington separated for the last couple of seasons. Dijonai's all the way over there in Connecticut, and NaLyssa Smith is all the way over there in Indiana. Oh man, long distance relationships are hard. But you know what? They said to themselves, we're gonna make this work. We're gonna push through. We're gonna stay together, and one day, we're gonna be on the same team. One day we're gonna play together.
Think about it. How do you keep team chemistry when two of your star players can't even look at each other? It's like trying to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but the peanut butter and jelly refuse to be in the same jar. It just doesn't work. And let's not forget, this isn't just any old season coming up. The Wings were counting on Smith and Carrington to help turn around the fortunes of their team. be their inside-outside combo, their secret weapon. Now, they might be lucky if these two can even pass the ball to each other without starting drama on the court. You know, it's not the first time the WNBA has seen personal drama spill onto the hardwood. Other teams have had to deal with player relationships gone sour. And let me tell you, it's never pretty. It takes some serious skill to keep a team together when emotions are running high and hearts are broken.
Now, they're both young. This isn't the first time they've broken up, they've gotten back, they've broken up, they've gotten back. They have time to get back together, so I'm not going to cast aspersions on their relationship.
So, what's next for the Wings? Well, they've got their work cut out for them. The management's going to have to channel their inner therapist to keep this team from imploding before the season even starts. They'll need to have some really uncomfortable conversations, set some ground rules, and maybe invest in a really big bottle of tension-relieving essential oils for the locker room.
This is what it was all last year. FYI. FYI, this is what it is all last year, except they were on different teams. Now you guys got them together. Congratulations. Kurt Miller. Way to go.
You think your workplace drama is bad? The Dallas Wings are taking office awkwardness to a whole new level. Imagine showing up to work every day, knowing you have to collaborate with your ex. Now, multiply that tension by 1,000,000, add in the pressure of professional sports, and you've got the Wings' current situation.
Dijonai Carrington, NaLyssa Smith, traded to the Dallas Wings. They play on the same team. They're in the same locker room. Now, look, in theory, if you're going to have these relationships with these massive conflicts of interest, yeah, these players should probably be on the same team. But now y'all got traded to the same damn locker room and broke up? Question mark? That's what's going on now?
The Dallas front office thought they were building a dream team. Instead, they've created a powder keg that's ready to blow. Smith and Carrington were supposed to be the dynamic duo that would propel the Wings to new heights. But now, they can barely stand to be in the same room together. Let's break this down. How do you run plays when your star players are actively avoiding eye contact? Picture the awkward silence in team huddles, the tension in the locker room. It's like trying to choreograph a dance with two lead dancers who refuse to touch each other. Good luck with that, coach.
If the WNBA wants to ever be truly taken seriously as a professional league, you have got to eliminate the one element that really nobody has to worry about in any other professional league. And that is relationships, personal, actual relationships inside these locker rooms. All right, on opposite dueling teams, because it's a conflict of interest. It just is.
And it's not just about Smith and Carrington. This drama has the potential to split the entire team down the middle. Imagine being their teammates. Do you take sides? Try to play peacemaker? Either way, you're stepping into a minefield. One wrong move, and boom, team chemistry goes up in smoke.
The WNBA is literally just sort of like a less professional version of like the WWE.
The coaching staff is in for the challenge of a lifetime. They need to find a way to keep the personal drama off the court and the focus on winning. But how do you do that when your two star players are giving each other the cold shoulder? It's like trying to defuse a bomb while juggling flaming torches. One wrong move, and the whole season could go up in flames.
It is what it is. You know, if they broke up, they broke up. But my goodness, who walked and said they ain't see this coming? It was inevitable for them to break up.
And let's not forget about the fans. They bought tickets expecting to see a super team in action. Instead, they might be treated to a live-action soap opera. Will they cheer for Smith, for Carrington? Or will they just sit back and watch the drama unfold like it's reality TV? The Wings management is in crisis mode. They're probably wishing they could go back in time and undo this trade. But unless they've got a time machine hidden away somewhere, they're stuck dealing with this mess. They need to find a way to smooth things over, and fast. Otherwise, this season could be over before it even begins.
This is a storyline. I mean, what are we doing here? Wow. So they get in the same locker room, and now they gonna break up. So now the Dallas Wings get to kick off their season with a bunch of drama, a bunch of relationship drama. And who knows, maybe they'll get back together. I mean, it's my understanding that they do this on again, off again thing, but we know how that goes. That's drama. No matter how you slice it.
While the Wings are busy playing relationship counselor, other teams are making moves. They're focused on basketball while Dallas is caught up in a bad romance novel. It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You know it's going to be bad, but you can't look away. Remember when trading away a former number 2 pick will get you roasted? Well, the Indiana Fever just flipped that script. They gave up NaLyssa Smith, but what they got in return might be the biggest steal of the season. Let's talk about Sophie Cunningham, the newest addition to the Fever's roster.
In Sophie Cunningham, the Indiana Fever are trading for a multi-dimensional wing, capable of knocking down the 3-ball.
Cunningham is starting to cook. Cunningham 3 is good.
Cunningham from the corner, locking down defenders.
Several deflections, and this time she gets the steal and the N1 opportunity.
And injecting passion and emotion into the game and into her team.
Imagine this. A player who can shoot, defend like a fortress, and isn't afraid to get physical. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, the Indiana Fever just turned that dream into reality. They traded away Smith and the 8th pick in the 2025 draft for Cunningham and the 19th pick. At first glance, you might think the Fever got the short end of the stick. But here's where it gets interesting.
On offense, Cunningham is a floor spacer and a deep shot maker. Each of her last 3 seasons, she's finished top 20 in the WNBA in threes made per minute on the floor among qualified players. And she will join a backcourt that features 2 of the top 5 three-point shot makers from a year ago, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell.
Sophie Cunningham isn't just any player. She's a sharpshooter who's been lighting it up from beyond the arc. Are you ready for this? Over the last 4 seasons, she's been in the top 20 for three-point shooting percentage in the WNBA. We're talking about an impressive 38% average from downtown. That's the kind of firepower the Fever need to complement their dynamic duo of Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, while creating space for Aaliyah Boston down low. But that's not all. Cunningham is like a Swiss Army knife on the court. She can guard multiple positions, making her a nightmare for opposing teams. 1 minute she's shutting down a star point guard, the next, she's frustrating a small ball forward. Her versatility is off the charts, and it's exactly what the Fever's new fast-paced, adaptable offense needs.
But let's look at her defense, where in Phoenix, her versatility was on full display. Capable of guarding 1 through 4 in the lineup, she would defend star point guards one game, then be a small ball 4 the next night. As the Fever look to improve defensively from a season ago, her style fits Stephanie White perfectly. Aggressive, in your face, and physical.
Now, let's talk about toughness. The WNBA isn't for the faint of heart, and Cunningham? She's got grit for days. She's known as an enforcer, the kind of player who's not afraid to get physical and protect her teammates. In a league where things can get rough, having a player like Cunningham is like having a secret weapon. Here's where it gets even more exciting. The Fever's new head coach, Stephanie White, has been talking about increasing the team's pace of play. Guess what? Cunningham fits that plan perfectly. She's got a knack for creating turnovers and sparking fast breaks. It's like she was custom-made for the Fever's new strategy. But wait, there's more. Cunningham brings something else to the table that you can't teach. Playoff experience. She's been in 15 playoff games and logged nearly 300 playoff minutes. That kind of battle-tested composure is priceless for a team looking to make a deep run.
This style helps create turnover opportunities and fast break chances for her teammates, which underscores how she plays with an intensity and fiery passion matched by few. Throughout her career, Cunningham has had a knack for providing energy when her team needs it most. Cunningham is right in the heart of her prime, just 28 years old.
The Fever aren't just adding a player, they're transforming their identity. With Cunningham on board, they're signaling to the league that they're ready to compete. They're not just building a team, they're crafting a contender.
But will bring playoff experience to the Fever too. She's played in 15 playoff games over her 6 seasons and logged nearly 300 playoff minutes. Key experience for a Fever team hoping to make deep playoff runs for years to come.
Let's talk about NaLyssa Smith. Remember when she was the Fever's rising star? Well, things have taken a wild turn. What happened? It's a story of unfulfilled potential and changing tides in the WNBA.
I forgot to mention NaLyssa Smith is gone. If you're the Fever, how great do you feel about that? My goodness. Right, like finally.
When the Fever drafted Smith, they saw a bright future. She was their number 2 pick, the player they believed would lead them to glory. But sometimes, things don't go according to plan. Last season, Smith's performance took a nosedive that left fans and analysts scratching their heads.
I got frustrated watching her play, and she represented, I think, the remnants of anything else that was wrong with the team, right? From the Christie Sides era and everything. And last year was a good year, all things considered. Wish her the best. But I actually think the Fever get great return here, considering I don't know where all these people think NaLyssa Smith's value was so high all of a sudden, given the way she played. And
are you ready for some shocking numbers? Smith's scoring plummeted to a mere 10.6 points per game. That's a far cry from the 13 points she averaged in her first 2 seasons. But wait, there's more. Her rebounding? It hit rock bottom at 7.1 per game. For a player once known for her presence on the boards, this was a red flag. But here's where it gets really interesting. It wasn't just about the stats. Smith's gameplay became a liability for the Fever. She was missing easy layups and struggling with free throws. Can you imagine the frustration? The team had no choice but to bench her during crucial moments.
she goes to the wings, gets a fresh start. Hopefully that works out for her. Arike Agumbawale has already welcomed NaLyssa Smith there. So that's part of this trade also. So you get these, a lot of moving parts here, because that's something a lot of people had anticipated and thought that the Fever were going to move on from Smith. And when Howard came in, it felt like, okay, Howard is taking her spot. And now Smith is no longer there to have a spot in the starting lineup or off the bench.
Now, let's talk about the Fever's new direction. Under head coach Stephanie White, they're embracing a fast-paced, versatile style of play. It's all about shooting and defense. Smith? She just couldn't keep up. The team increased their three-point attempts by 15% last season. Meanwhile, Smith was still stuck in slow motion. Here's the reality. In a league that's all about adaptability and speed, Smith became what one analyst called a relic of the past. Ouch. The Fever needed players who could run the floor, shoot efficiently, and switch on defense. Smith's slow feet and poor shooting became a real problem.
Fit is the most important thing. You got to have somebody that can run up and down the floor and catch those passes Caitlin's going to be throwing.
Think about it. In a game where every possession counts, having a player who can't keep up is like trying to win a race with a flat tire. The Fever's management saw the writing on the wall. They needed a change, and fast. So, did the Fever give up on Smith? Not exactly. It's more like Smith couldn't keep up with the Fever's evolution. The team is looking to build a competitive, cohesive unit. They're aiming for the stars, and they need players who can match that ambition.
They add the defense, rebounding, rim running with Howard. They add more shooting and two tough players, feisty players. One player who's going to have Caitlin Clark's back, of course, in Cunningham.
Well, folks, the WNBA offseason just got turned up to 11. While the Dallas Wings are trying to navigate this storm of personal drama, the Indiana Fever might have just pulled off the heist of the century. Sophie Cunningham's arrival in Indy is like finding the missing piece to a championship puzzle. Her shooting, toughness, and playoff experience are exactly what the Fever need to complement their rising stars. But here's where it gets really interesting. The upcoming WNBA season is shaping up to be must-see TV. Will the Wings find a way to rise above the drama? Can the Fever's new-look roster live up to the hype? One thing's for sure, we can't wait to see how this all plays out on the hardwood. So keep your eyes glued to those social media feeds and mark your calendars for the big matchups. This season's going to be a wild ride, and you won't want to miss a single moment. Are you excited? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.